here. It's not live quite yet. It's got a connection. That's good.
Excellent.
It's not showing anything yet, but it's saying it's live. Oh, I think we're live.
Are we live?
I think we're actually live.
I don't see it.
I think we're actually live.
The Longhouse.
If anyone can hear me, is there anyone out there?
Yeah, we are live.
We are live. Okay, very good.
From a laptop in a bush.
From a laptop in a bush, we are live.
I mean, this is a little better than this. Come on.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Longhouse Live, where we are streaming from the venue of the Witten 2023. I had to catch myself for a moment there because I forgot what year it is. At a certain location in the UK. With me here, I have some of the usual suspects. Leo Borealis.
Hello.
Please let us know if you can hear Leo Borealis. Also, we have Burkarl. And a new face to the Longhouse lineup here is someone who has been a frequent face in our Element chat, who goes by the name of Consumer.
Hello there.
Hello, indeed. Let me just check the vital signs here. I'm getting reports of oh, that's not... Okay, so I thought someone was talking about the audio, but someone's just making a meme about walruses. Please don't do that. It's it's hard enough getting all this to stream. Okay, very good. We don't really have a lot of, nailed down agenda to the stream. We're just going to hang out for a bit. We're streaming from a laptop that is slowly draining of battery, and when that battery is over, the stream will end. That is the idea. And until then, we'll just hang out and talk about our experiences in the UK. For those of you who follow me on Twitter, you can see that I've already partaken in the ancient English ritual of the fish and the chips. And it was bland. I suppose as it should be.
Careful.
Let me just bring up some notes here. All right. At some point, we should probably go over the schedule for the event, because I'm excited to talk a bit about some of the things that are going to happen at this event, but we'll save that a little bit for later. I have something wrong in my text here. I see. I said that Burkarl is in... Sorry, that Green River is in the stream, but he's not. It is Consumer. So let's do this. This should probably fix it. Okay. So, first of all, just getting here was a bit of an issue for some of us.
Some of us haven't arrived yet.
Some of us haven't arrived yet. That's the first part. You may notice that a certain Luddic path is missing, and that's because he's probably right now on a plane somewhere trying to get to the event. The English have unfortunately made it incredibly hard for us to arrive on this isle. I still claim that it's because of blood memory.
Yeah, you don't deserve better. You're Norwegians.
Cool it with the anti-Norwegian remarks. Let me see what the chat is saying here real quick. Okay, I think we're good to go. I think everyone can hear us and all that. So Luddic Path is still stuck in transit, and Burkarl, you yourself had quite an ordeal getting here.
Well, not as much an ordeal as last year, but fair to say this year the problems only started once we entered British airspace.
Would you say the problem started before last year?
No, yeah. Before, I had the misfortune of accidentally choosing Air France. That was horrible. Never skimp on the flights.
Yeah, Air France is the worst airline ever. I think that's actually factually true. It's been sort of voted the worst airline in the world.
I actually got my money back from those flights on some EU compensation scheme.
Seriously?
So I got the money back. So actually, my flights last year were free.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
but
in
you
that
had to
case,
stay a day in Charles de Gaulle.
Yeah, I spent the whole day at Charles de Gaulle.
Eating
Which
the
is
worst
punishment
pasta
enough, I
salad
suppose.
in
Yeah.
the world. I remember.
that is also the worst airport in the world.
Yeah, it's a fun thing when we were waiting for Birkal to finally arrive at the airport. He had landed, but he wasn't getting into the gate. He was out on tarmac.
Wait. Let me just go through this in chronological order. So, I arrived at Helsinki Airport. It's my first time ever. Last year, there was a person at the check-in to give me my boarding pass and stuff like that. This year, completely automated, seamless, less than a minute through the security and everything. And I'm just sitting for 2 hours, drinking a beer at 9 a.m., waiting for my flight. And then, nothing, no problems, everything is seamless until we enter British airspace. Pilot rings. We are going on a holding pattern for the next 45 minutes.
Jesus
no
Christ.
runway space
Right.
for landing. And then we circle around for 45 minutes after, and finally get to land. We land. The pilot chimes up again. We are waiting for an open gate to Part 2, and we will be waiting here on the causeway, runway, whatever. And we wait again for another, 15, 20 minutes. Then we finally get to the gate, and there is the whole tunnel that connects the plane to the terminal. Yeah, the ramp that connects the plane to the terminal. We get out of the plane and into the ramp, and people don't open the doors that we can get into the terminal. So we wait another 25 something minutes in the sweaty ramp to get into the Heathrow terminal.
Yeah, and
Where we've been waiting for an hour in the sweaty terminal.
By this time. Yeah. And we should also mention that the ramp actually doesn't have when the doors are closed. It doesn't have any ventilation. It's just a corrugated metal box.
Yes.
That is very long.
Yeah, and
Made
it's
by Krupp.
hell. Yeah, made by Krupp.
Glorious Kruppstahl.
But what we did discover on this is that there is a new delineation between what you can categorize as white and not. Because on London Heathrow Airport, there are a couple of terminals. And if you arrive from one of the countries like Norway or Sweden, or I would suspect Denmark, as long as you fly SAS, it seems, you end up at Terminal 2, which is a cool airport. I mean, cool as in it is more chilly than Terminal 3, which is much more damp and warm and contains much more swarthy.
The thing is also that
and contains all of the undesirables according to London Heathrow Airport, which is people from France
and Air France,
people from Finland and people from the Asiatic countries. So that's how London has decided to decide who is white or not. It's you end up in Terminal 2 or do you end up in Terminal 1? Terminal 2, classical music, cool air. Terminal 1, malaria and
and brown people, mostly actually.
Yes,
and the Finns and the Japanese, because we joked when we saw something from Air Japan had landed, and it came like a plane's worth of Japanese school children, and the first one we saw a Japanese guy with a bowl cut and said, "Oh, the Finns are here."
Yeah, that was the joke I made. Followed by 5 uninterrupted minutes of Japanese school children, pretty much. Which, again, I think if I was the leader of London Heathrow Airport, I would move the Japanese planes to Terminal 2 as honorary Terminal 2 dwellers.
To give some context here also, Terminal 2 is the new. It's not 100% finished built yet, so it's 10-15 meter high ceiling. It's just glass fronts.
Yeah.
Everything is very, very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Terminal 3 looks like it has been built sometimes during the early 70s, and no one has even tried to do anything to paint or even clean it since then.
You will eat the fish and chips, yes. So yeah, that was some of our experience. That's also why the stream is streaming 1 hour later, because it basically just pushed everything else 1 hour, 1.5 hours ahead when we had to wait for Burkhardt.
Yeah,
Not that it's his fault. I mean, the driver told us they say it's a staffing problem. They're having problem getting enough people
I saw
to the
plenty
airports.
of Heathrow workers
Yeah,
there.
there's a lot of there.
The problem was the Heathrow workers themselves.
Yeah. I mean, do you really need like 4 people standing around and saying, yeah, we can't be bothered to put up a sign, so we put
Or
4...
open the door
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
it to get into
Yeah.
the terminal.
we put four guys here to say that, okay. Not just the British and the Anglos and the French and the Americans that go into this queue for passport control. It's also EU citizens. Everyone else goes through this one.
There's signs. You don't need 4 Indians for this.
No,
This
but
is the other thing. Your entire border, UK people, your entire border control on your airports is controlled by Indian people. I'm just saying. It was bizarre. It was not just like, oh, there's like one guy from India and one guy from like Pakistan. No, they were all from India. Literally every single one of them.
Yeah, except for the ladies in the self-scan passport checking through kind of thing.
They were from somewhere else?
No, they were not Indian. They were sub-Saharan.
Oh, okay.
And they were like, just walking around up and forth saying, this one is, when the big green lights come on and the guy is like, they start screaming, this one is ready, and point at it generally and vaguely, and then just go, repeat of a list in their heads how to, place your passport on the scanner.
I mean, this is.
These people
I'm not trying to be. For anyone listening,
else.
I'm not trying to implement any sort of like racial hierarchy here, but I am insinuating that maybe London Heathrow needs to look into their, hiring policies, because there does seem to be some sort of tiering system going on here, with like who's doing what tasks. Like the lowest minions seem to be all of one kind, and then if you go up one level to the people who sit behind computers, that's another kind of person, right?
Yeah, so like I noticed, like the foreign exchange officer who can exchange currency, white.
Mm-hmm.
Grocery store, Indians.
Mm-hmm. I think that's kind of racist, Heathrow. I think that's kind of racist. Anyway.
London Heathrow was horrible, but my flight on Finnair was seamless. As I said, unlike Air France.
What's with the blueberry juice? Both of you talked about, like, I've never really thought about Finnair until today, and both times I've talked to someone who's flown Finnair, both of you said, yeah, but the blueberry juice is really good.
God tier blueberry juice.
It's amazing.
You can only get it on the plane, folks.
Yeah, Finnair, as a true Nordic airline, does not give you free food, but they will give you blueberry juice. And the only thing that Air France actually does right last year is that they feed you endless beautiful croissants. I stuck my face with them as I drowned my sorrow from the flight being late.
Right.
Yeah, and we also saw it could have been worse. I mean, when we were waiting for Bear Call at the gate, we saw the most delayed air flight into Terminal 3 for the day. Was a flight from Air France coming in from Charles de Gaulle. It was supposed to arrive at 10:22. It had arrived, according to the digital board, at 17:10.
Yeah, there was another one, Air France from Marseille, also like supposed to arrive at 12. Expected to land at 17:55.
But you can't expect the French to, figure out that stuff.
This is what they get.
Yeah, they've been downgraded to Terminal 2.
Terminal 3.
Sorry, Terminal 3.
2 is the good one.
Ever since the riots.
Post Law in the chat says, hello, sorry we can't be here this year. Well, hopefully you'll be here next year, Post Law. We'll try to make do without you. Let's put it like that. Any other interesting chats going on here? Designated shitting plane. Oh Shiva, this passport is out of date. I can't do the Indian accent in English, but
This flight, like I was on a Finnair flight once that was long distance. In the bathrooms, I don't know if anyone else has noticed it. They have signs that are only in Chinese.
Yeah, yeah, that's because.
Wait, who does?
Finnair. Because Finnair does. Well, at least before the whole Russia closing its airspace from everyone thing. But before that, Finnair was a very prominent in the market of connecting Asia with Europe.
Ah.
Yeah, I flew with them when we went to Tokyo.
Yeah,
They go over the North Pole, so
pretty much cornered that market. Maybe that's why they are in Terminal 2, because they're bringing in all the Southeast Asians into Europe. So
the Asiatic hordes.
Yeah. So they have these signs in Chinese. I actually Google translated some of them. They're just like, oh, this toilet is not a trash can. Do not throw all your trash in the toilet. Because apparently they're just throwing all their trash there because they expect to throw it there for whatever reason.
Well, some people do that, unfortunately.
I mean, the Chinese do dump all their stuff in their near seas, so
That's true.
So there's some deep lore on Finnair laboratories.
Deep lore on Finnair, only here at the Longhouse, ladies and gentlemen. So I've been asked to comment on the women we've met on the way. Not that I've interacted with that many, and what I will say is that I noticed immediately when I was at the gate that was taking me from Oslo, Norway, to England, because I could see it on the women. Yeah, but you know how British women, they look a certain way, right? They have a face,
have
right?
a distinct phenotype.
Right, yeah. And of course, as time went on, there were a few, what's the Bassas and the Gassas, you know, the way the British bulldog only gets only looks a certain way. Other than that, there were some very elegant women at the flight from Oslo to London, but that's because I found out that they were actually Spaniards. I think they were like, it's one of those like subcontracting things they do for like SAS, so the crew is like a Spanish crew or something, right? And they just like airdrop them into the SAS plane to fly it. But of course, you know, makes sense. They're more elegant and more well dressed. So
yeah, I noticed a similar thing on the SAS flight. So our flight was delayed by an hour and a half from Arlanda, because of weather apparently. So the pilot's just like, oh yeah, anyone can come into the cockpit and look at the controls. So of course, like half the plane goes there to gawk at the controls. But eventually got to talk to the pilots. Your captain is your sort of happy, sort of English chap, mid-40s.
Balding guy.
Yeah,
kind of short.
Mid-40s balding guy, very happy.
Kind of cheerful.
Co-pilot is a brown female with Prada sunglasses.
right.
But it was a similar thing, though. They were talking about how like they're British. They don't work for SAS Scandinavia. They just kind of got airdropped in as a crew to the flights. And none of the cabin staff spoke Swedish, which was
no, they were British as well.
Yeah.
So
there was one
the
like,
entire
French
crew,
woman,
I think.
I think. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
I will have you all know that the air crew on Finnair was all Finnish, except for one dude who was some sort of brown Asian, but he spoke perfect Finnish.
Oh, very nice.
He's one of the neo-Finns. The ones threatening the livelihood of the Sami.
Jesus Christ. India superpower 2024. India landed on the moon. People are saying.
India landed on the moon.
Yeah, they did. India has landed on the
Russia
moon.
crashed
Yeah.
recently.
Yeah.
So
So
the Indians paid for it by the 2.3 billion pounds the English has been giving this last year or whatever it was in foreign aid to their poor benighted country of India.
I don't believe it. No one's actually seen footage of this. All everyone's seen is this like CGI shot.
Yeah, digital. Yeah, they just smoked that money on other stuff.
How would anyone know for sure? Like they probably just said they did. Like maybe.
yeah. It's all in call centers now, funneling Google Play cards into the economy. I thought you were going to say, Burkall, except for one dude who was gay, says Moose.
Well, they were all women, so.
Right. JD asks, are there no direct flights from Scandinavia? No, there isn't. There is no... Well, unless you go from one of the major hubs. For me, I had to make a transition, and Ludwig Path also had to make like a million translations.
Still in transition.
He's still in transition. So it's...
Ludwig Path transition.
yeah.
It's currently transitioning over the North Sea from Copenhagen to.
He's going to have a quick hop in. He's going to just kind of a quick layover in O'Hare in America, and then he's going to be on his way back.
Flights from O'Hare also go to Terminal 3, by the way. It's true, there was one.
Yeah, it's true. I wonder, but I saw no flights from New York, so I think New York was on Terminal 2. So they are apparently white, but O'Hare not.
Yeah, very good.
They got the weather for it. Then again, O'Hare doesn't. No.
JD says Indians land on moon, immediately set up tech support. Carl House coming for the Britain. Nothing wrong with our. Well, there's nothing with our bloody women. Conditions of England. Drunk husbands' reactions to losing the World Cup since the 60s, mate.
They're hardy, like draft animals.
You gotta hook the plowshare to something. And there's no more horses. I'm just gonna have a sip of my gin and tonic.
When the oxen is gone, well, the old bat is just gonna make it.
Jesus Christ.
Apparently, I mean, that's what.
Do not redeem. Oh God, yes. Can I bring that? Hang on, I'm gonna make a lot of noise here because I'm gonna bring a meme up on the screen. Hang on.
Meme review.
Yeah, talk amongst yourself for a moment while I bring up a meme. What else do you want to say from your tales, from your travels?
Well, we gotta get to the water review, of course.
The water review. Do the water review while I find it.
Yeah. So I guess the next step in the story is we're at Terminal 3. Bert Call finally gets out, and we make our way to a taxi. I'm told by Walrus that he paid extra for a white driver.
Worth it.
And then we get to the event. We check in, and then we decide to go eat dinner.
That's pretty much it. But what about the water?
Yeah, I mean, those of us who were here last year, I realized all of us forgot about the water.
Hang on, can I interrupt for a moment? Because there's a bug on my computer, and so every time, not like an actual physical bug, but like a computer glitch, every time I open Element, it says I have a new message from you, and it's a message from like months ago of you saying I'm editing a hot meme. Yeah.
Probably.
And every time I log on Element, it tells me you're sending me a new message, and it's just you editing a hot meme.
Constantly editing more hot memes.
All right, let me find the image I'm talking. Sorry, continue with the water.
And last year's event was up in the West Midlands, and the West Midlands apparently, the ground is chalk and chalk clay. Have a fuck ton of additives in the water to get rid of that all the minerals and the silt. Especially they like chlorine, because the taste of chlorine apparently negates the taste of the chalk or the calcite.
It doesn't though. It just tastes like chlorine.
No, imagine if you removed all the chalk and had like pure water with a filtration system.
Well, Bucko, it depends on what you mean by negates. Yeah. What do we mean by negates?
In any case, last year up in the West Midlands, water completely fucking undrinkable. It's like trying to take a swig out of a swimming pool.
Every time you bring
bad.
the glass up to your face, you get like a waft of like chlorine. It's horrible.
Yeah, I mean, coming over here, the airplane completely air conditioned, completely fine. But then then we get into the taxi, and I'm still, when I left from Finland this morning, it was 12 Celsius. I had a woolen long sleeve shirt, just one, but I'm thinking, it's going to be a bit warmer in the UK. Then I get into that taxi after arriving, I'm sweating. My whole back is completely drenched. I'm thinking, I need a drink. I need water. I am thirsty. Then I finally get to the UK water. It's horrible. I needed to get a pint of Guinness instead.
Well, that's also almost water, but it's Irish water.
Well, it's better.
It's so bad they had to ferment it to make it drinkable.
So the plan is just to keep escalating the dehydration levels throughout the whole weekend until I can get back.
It sounds like a solid plan. I mean, the water here is less bad. It's not full turbo pool.
Carl
Carl
Habermas in the chat says Nord's sweating at the most temperate weather ever is hilarious to me. You don't know you don't know the pain. This is too hot.
No. The problem isn't the temperature. The problem is
the
like
moisture.
The moisture. It's like
you guys are turning into meds. We talked about this.
I mean, the air is round here. It's not sharp. What's wrong with you? How can you live like this?
I mean, right now, the sun has gone down. It's probably under 20. This is excellent right now.
Yeah, now it's getting better. It's still a little bit, The air is, it feels round. It feels soft.
Yeah, but at least it's not hot in.
Yeah, but the temperature's down, so it's acceptable.
British Bahrain says only English lungs may breathe English water. And that's why we drink tea or beer, says Nennius. Yeah, well, I mean, I get it.
I partake in the beer then.
Ganges water is cleaner than UK water. It was another one from...
I doubt there's fluoride in it.
Every app is a dating app if you're Indian enough. That was another.
Yeah, but I think the only thing... that's the only thing that you won't find in the Ganges, and that's fluoride.
Yeah, that's true.
Everything else, I mean...
Oh, speaking of the Ganges, here's the photo we were talking about. I'm not sure if people can see this. I will do my best to place it on the screen. Can I do like a transform fit to screen? Yeah. I'm gonna let you read that because I can't give it a really good. I can't really give it a good rendition myself. I'm just gonna have this up in the background for a bit.
My screen quality is too poor. I can't read anything.
Oh no. I live in the valley in Norway with the highest temperature variable, so if it rains here while it's summer, the humidity and the heat gets trapped and becomes Florida. That sounds absolutely horrible. I'm gonna undo this and take away the photo. Nenia
that's
says
why you
we
don't
don't
live
like
in the
heat
valley
either.
You live up on the hills.
Yeah, that's the way you do it.
Yeah.
Where you can have a steady stream of winds.
And then you can go. Then you can go on tour into the valley instead of the other way around.
You hike and you. Let's. Oh, did I lose the chat for a moment here? Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say then the only drinkable water here is these glass bottles you can buy for 3.5 pounds for 33 centiliters.
Yeah,
so,
that's it. If you're coming from any Terminal 2 nation, you're going to have to buy bottled water.
It's a 7 out of 10.
I suggest beer. It's much better.
Yeah,
beer is better. But if you absolutely I mean, it's and the bottled water here, I don't know what it is. Some kind of local thing, I guess.
I can read what it says here.
It's not Italian anyway.
Nadia says, I didn't know our water tasted funny. Well, of course you don't, because you live in it.
You literally never tasted actually good water.
Yeah. Drink it out of the tap you put it. Well, we can. It's not that. It just tastes like chloride, and then you're thirsty after because it's not actually
disgusting.
good. Yeah.
Water
on plastic bottles is HRT. Well, actually, it's not HRT. It is a glass bottle he's drinking from.
You're
so
literally drinking the fluoride and being happy.
Yeah, literally.
You just only tasted the fluoride.
I was born in it.
Molded by it. I did not taste pure water until I was a grown man.
Only the freshest references here on the Longhouse.
The bottled water, at least, is mineral water from, let's see, in the dark, it's kind of hard to read. It doesn't say where it's from, just says bottle at source.
Nordhuger, History, Philosophy, and Lore says, one like, one prayer for Luddic Path. Please, if you're in the chat, put a Luddic Path emoji if you have it, or any other emoji to send some support to our boy Luddic Path, who's trapped in the twilight zone of the international airline system.
Yeah, according to my calculations, if he hasn't been severely delayed, he should be landing in about an hour.
Yeah. And then an hour of cab ride.
Yep.
Yeah,
pretty much.
He told us preliminarily 9:40 he would land, but it's almost 9:40 now.
Yeah, and everything today has been pushed an hour, and I don't think that has gotten any better.
No, certainly not.
I mean, has Air France even arrived yet?
To what, the 21st
Probably
century?
not.
So this is actually an argument for depopulation. I'm with AA on this. Because part of the reason we were delayed, at least our flight, is because there was weather,
Was
right?
your flight delayed?
Yeah, by an hour and a half.
Okay, yeah.
We were supposed to land much earlier, but that's good because you guys were so much later.
Yeah.
Right.
But there was weather, like not weather at Heathrow, but just a little bit south of Heathrow, so people had to fly around it, which was causing lines. And they're just like, oh, we can't get a slot, because everyone else is flying around it, so there's traffic. So we had to wait at the airport for an hour and a half. Depopulation would solve this problem.
Well, the depopulation would also probably increase the cost of flying, which, I don't disagree with. But would you be flying if depopulation happened?
Probably more often.
Maybe. Yeah.
Or if it happened properly, I mean, then we should probably
Just
have
saying,
better voting.
scaling down scales down in every, in every angle. That's I agree. We should probably do that.
I mean,
we just got to be prepared to face the consequences.
GDP would grow enormously.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah.
I mean, it's the Black Death effect. I mean, before the Black Death, things were not good in Europe. After the Black Death and the century that followed it, massive wealth growth.
Right.
People had it a lot better.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree. The share of the pie, so to speak, has to be bigger. Nordhuger, History, Philosophy, and Lore says, how long would it take to drive down through Denmark and then up through France to Britain?
Well,
we actually talked about this.
Yeah, for Luddic it would probably actually be faster.
Maybe.
Well, if you took a ferry, if you take a ferry
Let's see.
first.
You could do it in a day.
Well, I don't know, because I assume that Luddic is.
No,
I mean,
say
I'm a
from Oslo to
massive
Copenhagen,
bourgeois, right?
It should be at about
Sorry.
3 hours.
Yeah.
A 3-hour drive.
Yeah, it's Norway that kind of messes it up because you have to drive north first. And then
Well, the thing is, I think Luddic is, starting a bit late because he's leaving right after work. Meanwhile, I took an extra day off, so I could start this morning, basically, right? But yeah, we talked about Burkhardt taking a boat over to Germany and then driving via the tunnels.
That was another option. I had this master plan of, the boat migrants from Calais are coming over here anyway, right?
He's just gonna hitch a ride. Is that what you're saying?
So, I could just put my car on a ferry in the port of Helsinki. Land in somewhere in Germany. I think would it be Flensburg or somewhere over there?
Right.
somewhere in Pommern, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, and then drive from there over to Calais, and then load up some of these migrants and take their money.
You had a business idea of sort of de-transporting.
Yeah. Well, there was this other business idea that came up when I was thinking of this idea. That actually, I'm not going to take them to Britain. I'm going to drive them the opposite direction.
You're going to promise to take them to Britain, take their money, and then drive the opposite direction as far as you can.
Yeah, preferably at least to Turkey.
Just drive them to Turkey, blame climate change.
Exactly, and.
Nordhuger again says, American road trip instinct tells me driving is the only true way to travel. That is disgusting. Ship is the true way to travel.
We need to get a boat.
Yeah.
A big one.
Yeah, we talked about this. Bring back sailboats.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
the cargo shipping industry has reinvented the wind.
Yeah. It's wind-powered, guys.
The wind-powered transport. We won't use the propeller and the diesel engine. we will use the wind.
What if we put
with
a
big,
large
big
piece of cloth?
expandable sail in some kind of cool polymer material?
Sorry,
Wonderful.
I just gotta ask, do you know a certain Longhouse?
Yeah, that's us.
We are the Longhouse, and we are live.
We're live right now. No.
You want to join?
Yeah, it's a consequent fry.
Oh, you're consequent frying. Grab a chair. Grab a
The
chair.
Germans have arrived.
Yeah.
I repeat, the Germans have arrived.
Hello, I'm the quota German.
The quota German. Very good.
University hire has arrived.
That's very nice. So we're one person richer now here at the Longhouse. Consequent Fry, is that your name? Yes.
Yes.
I've seen your name around in the Element chats. I'm just checking the chat again here. Let's see. Someone asked us if we were staying in England or passing through. Nenias says that. Well, then again, I'll reiterate, we're currently streaming live from the Whitton, somewhere in the UK, where we're going to be spending the entire weekend pretty much, with a lot of interesting... And speaking of, I should actually pull up the program, because we've been streaming for a bit of time.
Talking too much about
How long have we been
delays.
streaming?
An airplane.
We've been streaming half an hour talking about
And
nothing.
Great stories about delays and
Oh,
confusion.
Okay, one more, let's go. Yeah.
All right, now my story. So it all starts. Usually, normally your flight should only take like 45 minutes.
Let us know, by the way, if you can hear Consequent Fry, just some microphone stuff.
So usually 45 minutes. It already started very well. 30 minutes.
I think the light went off.
The light went off.
Wait, let me.
Oh, it's back on.
Sorry.
Are we? Is he back?
You hear us?
Let us know in the chat if you can hear Consequent Fry.
Yeah, I think it's good now.
All right. So yeah, already in the beginning, 30 minutes delayed, and then I had to wait in the plane for 2 hours, 2.5 hours, because they needed another window, and it was awful. So great, 3 hours late in the UK, great start. Then I tried to get a train ticket to the event. I already booked one, so usually one would think, it's pretty easy, just like, it's not my fault, you just change it at the counter.
At an airport, you must, expect that this happens all the time.
But alas, now you are not in the Germanic countries.
You're
You're
in Terminal 3.
And I, a German, thought there is the train company, like Deutsche Bahn. There's
Oh, you
one train
sweet
company.
summer child.
No. So I went to the counter, and they said, but we can't help you, because even though you booked a train that runs on our line, you booked it via a third party, then you need to call them. So I tried to call the number they gave me, and of course the number was not given. I tried to call it, and when it's like this number is not-
it doesn't exist. Indian call center.
Oh, the wonders of private...
At this point, we got to interrogate you on something. You're not going to quite understand it yet, but we'll explain later.
Oh boy.
Did you fly to Heathrow?
No.
Oh.
I thought I was smart and went to what's Stansted?
Stansted,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Stansted.
Well, that's like the 1 hour in the opposite direction, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is
I was scheduled, my original schedule. I planned to arrive here at 4 in the evening, and as you can tell, it's a bit later.
Just slightly.
Yeah. So on top of the 3 hours delay from the plane, add 3 more hours calling various call centers, and it was like, do you know the one episode where they want to get a A30 passenger, some, it's Asterix and Obelix, where they fight with the Roman bureaucracy, and they
Right.
just get sent out.
Oh, yeah.
To get another form. And
Yeah.
another
So it was almost exactly like that, but I went from Indian call center to Indian call center.
been all over the subcontinent.
Oh.
Chat's giving you sympathy. JD says Stansted is hell on earth.
Oh yeah.
So
Stansted is all right. It's not good. Birmingham Airport was actually pretty good. Birmingham as a
Yeah.
town was hell.
The only good thing about
Luton,
Birmingham is
I've
the airport.
only heard bad things about.
Yeah. So, but then there was a unspoken hero because, like, I went multiple times to the counter there, and they really tried to help me. They were British guys, and then
Did you have
at
to
the
pay
end-
extra?
At the no. So at the end, I had to buy a new ticket, but the guy at the counter had some sympathy, and a ticket that usually costs like $60 or pounds. He got one through some weird shenanigans that only cost like 15 pounds.
Oh, okay.
So he was like, yeah.
You get a discount.
You get a discount. And there was finally somebody making decisions. And now I'm here.
Very
after
good.
a long odyssey.
Finally. Right. Someone says...
None of this needed to have happened if only the British would have been so kind to start speaking German.
That's true.
Jawohl.
You can tell that the Nordic boys have never been to Canada because they think Air France and Charles de Gaulle are the worst airline in the airport. Well, I say that because I think they've been voted that by the entirety of Europe at multiple points.
I've been to Canada, but not by airplane, luckily.
I know I'm appealing to democracy here, but we are all in agreement around this table that that's the worst.
These are the only votes that matter, really. I mean,
to be honest, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, aren't like half of Canada all French or anyway?
So
I mean,
Just to remind you, they were in Terminal 3.
they weren't. What is the per capita of YouTubers in Britain? It must be the highest anywhere in the world, says Nordhuger. What does that mean?
Terminal 2 was from, Sweden, Germany, and symphonic music playing.
Nordhuger asks...
You're going to say Terminal 2.
Nordhuger asks, what's the highest per capita of YouTubers in Britain? It must be the highest of anywhere in the world. What does that mean? It must be London. What? I don't understand what he's saying.
the per capita of YouTubers, I don't know. Do they call?
I mean, here there's going to be.
I mean, I think California is top of that, right?
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, I think the local region here is quite densely populated, so I don't think we're really making a dent into those statistics. To be honest,
no.
I mean, it's averages and statistics, so it's a lie anyway.
Yeah. So let's head over to the program for the Witten for 2023.
Yeah, something about that.
We're actually going to have to talk about something.
Wait, he has a plan?
Barely. The first talks tomorrow is going to be a double combo of Oron McIntyre and then the academic agent, who are going to be talking Friday night. It's going to be heavy, I think.
I'm finally going to get to see the opening ceremony. I mean, I missed it last year because of...
That's true, because of
because
airplane
you were in
woes.
France.
Yeah. Well, I think it's smart. I think both Oron and AA is you have to pay attention when they're talking. I'm not saying that because they're bad at delivering. Quite the opposite. They're very good at delivering information, and quite a lot of it, and they often represent models that, after 2 days of endless beer drinking at the Witten, your mind is better suited to do that Friday night than Saturday evening or something like that.
Just pace yourself and you'll be fine.
Yeah, that's the... What's that?
I would say,
Yeah.
if you have to ask,
Exactly. I noticed...
you're a zoomer.
Zoomer.
It looks like AA's got 10 lessons from cynical history.
Mm-hmm.
Cynical history.
Cyclical
This
history.
sounds like red meat.
I think it's cyclical history. I think it's a typo. Yeah.
No, it says cynical.
Yeah, I know, but I think it's a typo.
It's cyclical, but it's a very good typo.
But anyway, I think this is red meat sort of to get everyone kind of interested and
Maybe.
drawn in, and then we get the
I mean,
philosophy.
he's selling one book at this conference.
Yeah.
He's already having a speech to sell the next one.
Ah.
I mean,
He's going to end it on, and that's why you have to buy my next book, The Boomer Truth Regime. Yeah.
I mean, I would not be surprised that rugs are being sold.
Rugs. It's going to be the prophets of doom and then rugs next to it.
Thank you. Come
Okay.
again.
Very good.
They're not only in the airports.
Right. And on Saturday, I am starting off the first talk. Ooh. And then we go into Johann Kurtz. Anyone know him? No?
No fucking idea.
No? Then
But I guess we'll have later.
we'll have later. He's going to
Sounds
talk
German.
about self-sacrifice.
Austrian.
And then Pharaoh is talking tradition as a shield against entropy. I'm looking forward to that. Pharaoh has a lot of good knowledge. And then Fen de Villiers, one of my favorite artists these days. I really like a lot of the things he makes. Too bad most of the things he makes would take up like my entire house. Some of those sculptures are huge.
That's why you have a garden.
Garden, yes, that's true. I need to fill my entire garden with Fen de Villiers sculptures. That's probably the play, honestly.
Or one on each side of your driveway. To threaten and intimidate neighbors.
Well, my driveway isn't laid out that way. I would have to expand it or something. Well, it's a worthwhile reason.
Just expand it over your neighbor's house.
Yeah.
The one that you don't
Once
like.
they see the Fen de Villiers sculpture, they'll understand. And then we have Dave the Distributist.
Dave is always good.
He's talking what I saw from the colonies. And I would say, honestly, I hope that Dave is going to bring something that he hasn't talked about on YouTube yet. He has a long career on YouTube, but
He probably is.
yeah, and that's why I hope to get something that we wouldn't get on YouTube, if that makes sense. And then there's Unpopular Opinions Live. That's always a banger.
Yep.
As
And
the kids say.
Probably like last year, not fit for distribution.
Oh yeah. That's that's the privilege of paying to be here, is that you get to experience Unpopular Opinions live, uncensored.
Yeah, without being running afoul of the Communications Act.
I gotta be honest, watching Unpopular Opinions live, only the recording last year, that was basically the selling point for me to say, alright.
Did you see the recording from last year? Was there a recording from last year?
Yeah, there was a recording. But, they censored some.
Yeah, they censored.
Okay,
They censored Panama Hat's girlfriend.
Yeah. And then on Sunday, there's L. Lauren. Not sure who that is.
No idea.
And Matteo Pellegrino, who is going to talk about leaving for Paraguay. There's a guy we had on Liquid Swan on our show that talks a lot about the possibilities of moving to South America and basically starting up a society there.
Yeah, what is it with Germans and starting up new societies in South America? It's it is weird, man. It is weird.
Yeah, very weird.
Suspicious. Maybe they want to win more World Cups. That's
I don't know about Uruguay, but going to Argentina,
Paraguay.
I can understand.
Yeah.
I mean, once you colonize Antarctica, there's like you need to expand.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's Argentina, and I mean, if you like German beer, you can go to certain towns in Argentina, and you will think you will have died and ended up in Bavaria.
Jesus Christ.
No, I mean the cross-timbered
Yeah, no,
houses.
I know. I've
the-
seen pictures. It's very bizarre because it's like
And it's
it's
only
full
Germans.
dense jungle, and then there's just these like Tirolo
Germans.
buildings. Yeah.
Nah, it's out on the plains.
Karl
It's in the
Habermas.
pampas,
I
but-
mean, on the continent we have the sea German and the mountain German, but this is the jungle German.
The jungle German. What I found most weird
how
about
do you
Germany is
differentiate
the
it from
difference
the
between
Arctic
northern Germans and southern Germans, the
What about the
Bavarians
German?
and the
nobody knows about
the
that one.
Prussians, I suppose.
So the difference is pretty easy. So let's say southern Germans, like Austrians or so, they're basically like Italians but with an actual work ethic.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
So and North Germans are
Autists, all of you.
yeah.
Yeah. The Bavarians, yes.
Maybe getting back to Northern Germans, I'm going to derail this a bit. What do you think of English water?
We're just
It tasted like chemicals were put into it.
yeah. It tastes like a swimming pool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the chloride.
Well,
Yeah.
I have seen some certain recent arrived guests in Germany going to the public swimming pool and filling up like canisters of water. I mean, I kid you not. It's not just the me that saw that. I have.
Oh Jesus Christ!
but like you can't actually drink pool water.
Well,
Yeah, well, you can, but
it's not good for you. But I mean, nobody told them that.
Then again,
so.
you have also has to remember that Sub-Saharan Africa, and especially West Africa, has a very long tradition of geophagia. Eating dirt. Not because you're starving, as some people say, just a thing.
Yeah, I stumbled over a post on Twitter about that. Was like someone had posted, the face mask, the metal face masks, and the community notes absolutely destroyed whoever made that post by saying, the reason they had the face masks were to stop them from eating dirt.
Yeah, because you also have to realize they do this at home, and then they try to do it on another continent where the geobacteria, the flora and fauna of the soil is completely different. I mean, probably their intestine has adapted to their native soil flora, like some bacterium and shit like that. And now they're in the Americans and eating, something completely different, and they get sick and die.
Louisiana dirt, yeah, they get.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Alabama.
Alabama what?
Green River says, nah, Paraguay is very mixed. You mean Uruguay? I'm not sure if he's referring to anything, but the talk specifically,
Uruguay is,
I know, but
quite a bit
the
wider.
talk in the program says Paraguay, so I'm not sure what.
Paraguay is the forced miscegenation.
Yeah.
Paraguay is right. So it's like Argentina, Brazil, Chile.
Right.
And it's also more mountainous, so you're getting a lot more of the Incas who survived. But Uruguay is basically white.
Vulpe's persona
Get over there.
in the chat, a man of my heart, writes, "Dirty deeds done, dirt eats." I love it. It's both an AC/DC reference and a joke. That's my kind of.
But the fun thing, if you say it's like Uruguay is mostly white, well, that's the big meta project of like Latin America, because of the genetic in vitro testing and stuff like that. So they're actually trying to reverse engineer Europeans by only selecting the whitest of babies.
It's like that land shark tweet of like intellectuals trying to reverse engineer Hitler. But they're doing it with like the actual genetics. Yeah. So on.
Well, I mean, for anyone who saw the World Cup and had a look.
No, that's what I'm saying. They're trying to win more World Cups. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're obviously successful.
You have to stop recognizing patterns, Leo.
Oh no, I did it again.
On Sunday there is Constantine Balkwill, Metaphysics. Any idea? So a lot of young upstarts in this one, and of course a mystery speaker on Sunday, and very mysterious, Tony Blair. And of course Carl Benjamin is talking. His title is "We Are Inevitable," which sounds very cool.
He's
come around from last
year's
year.
enormous black pill, when it wasn't so much talk, but Larry just sat up there and just sighed and needed to talk to someone.
Jesus.
He was a sad boy at the last one.
Clear them out, says Love Me Chlorine, simple as.
It keeps your
I love the British knee jerk of like us turning up and saying, "Hey, your water tastes like ass," and they're like, "Well, we like it that way."
It keeps the teeth clean.
With all the
Never change, Britain. Never change. Someone says Bronze Age pervert or Thomas 777 is the mystery speaker. That would be very cool, but I doubt it, honestly.
Never know.
You never know. All right, I'm just going to check the battery, because when we run out of battery, the stream ends. And
violently and abruptly.
Yes. Well, we have a little bit more.
That is also when another round is going to be taken, because I've run out.
I've run out too.
Yeah.
So we have to end this soon, because I'm out of.
And the poor German just went
gin.
to up with his bags, and he hasn't had a beer in 12 hours at least.
That's like, it's almost
deadly by that point, you know.
Yeah, he's down to his last legs, his last reserves. Left leg is the only thing left.
Maybe the right arm.
Someone in chat says, at least we're not drinking German beer.
If only we were drinking German beer rather than this fucking piss swill that I have here.
Have another Colin. Yeah.
Oh man, it's just, you know, it's just cornstarch and.
What do you think? I only drink like gin here.
Yeah. I thought I'd try one just for the meme, and yeah, it was. I don't know. It's almost Dutch beer.
God. Ugh.
The industrial kind.
The industrial kind. Anything else we want to get off our chest before we leave? We have like 10-15 minutes left of battery. Nothing we're looking forward to.
I'm just happy to be here.
You're just happy to be here. Very good. This is your
I'm
first?
just very thirsty.
Yeah. Sorry, what did you say?
I'm just very thirsty.
You're just very thirsty.
I've been saying this. You will drink the fluoride.
You will drink the fluoride.
Not for water. Fuck's sake.
Well, what for? Like Sanna Marin cat photos or like
No,
cat ear photos?
I said in the chat that's forbidden. We should make sure that they're out. And as soon as I post that fucking Sanna Marin cat girl photo, then the doctor won. Who shows up going wood?
It's like instantly as well.
Yeah.
It's like a reflex.
Yeah. Bear Call just can't help himself. To be fair, a lot of other guys
It was
in
not
there.
me.
Yeah, eventually it was you.
No, that was just my berating.
Oh, you were berating him.
Fun of it.
Oh, okay.
I was making fun of his comment.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check the receipts. I have the chat.
Sanna Marin is Sanna Marin.
Yeah,
It's
yours.
very clear.
Yeah, your state has.
I made it very clear on the stream. Just go into the back catalog. Everyone, go watch your favorite Longhouse stream again, right now after this stream.
Right. I have the receipts here, and yes, I mean you didn't write wood. It's true. You're clear.
Give engagement though. That's
Yeah.
kind of enabling.
Your impeachment has ended. Should we talk about Donald on Tucker? I haven't seen all of it yet.
No.
Donald Trump being interviewed on Tucker Carlson on X.
Can we for 5 minutes not talk about the Empire?
The Empire. Yeah, we can just enjoy the evening. That's fine.
I mean,
We can talk about the Empire instead.
the theme of the conference is against entropy, and I mean, what is the Empire? But
Yeah. In a way.
And that interview was kind of entropy, as Mr. Trump is, kind of doesn't stay consistent on one
See,
topic.
that's the thing. We said we're not going to talk about Trump, and now we're talking about Trump.
It's the magic of Trump.
It's the magic of Trump.
So anyway, the
So
bluefin
anyway.
tuna is back in the North Sea.
The what?
Yeah, the bluefin tuna stocks have risen.
Oh, yeah,
to
that's
levels.
true,
Yeah,
yeah.
so they're back in
Yep.
Öresund as well, between
Yep.
Denmark and Sweden. So
Yep.
they're come very far south, and
We can fish again.
Of
yeah, I
course,
think
I'm
it's
also
next
talking about
door
fish.
the year after.
It's
so.
that and oil. That's all we got.
Well, you have that big hunk of phosphate that the
Yeah, that's
Americans
true.
were very
Yeah.
happy that you found.
Yeah.
So what's that gonna net you? Another two bases?
I
perhaps?
said that when we talked about it earlier. What
fault,
struck me
talking
the
about the
most
Empire
was
now.
when I we have to talk about the Empire. When I read the article, how much more interested every American they interviewed were in this discovery than every Norwegian scientist.
We're like, oh no.
Oh, look, we got a super chat.
We got a super chat. Got 100 Norwegian kroner from Bård Brenden. Do not
Fundus beers.
Do not drink Dr. Breen's Private Reserve, or you will forget your name and how you ended up there. What is Dr. Breen's Private Reserve? Is that a?
Maybe the water here.
Is that a? It
Well, shoot,
might
I've
be.
been drinking their bottled water, so
Yeah. Maybe you've been drinking the Private Reserve. Thank you, Bård Brenden. What's the phrase? It means so much. Yeah. Trumpstein was the most pro-YAG U.S. He's saying gay U.S. president. Well, and they're tripping over themselves trying to give money to Israel. So, I mean, everything is as it should be in the state of Denmark. So,
Just to emphasize, we love the nation of Israel.
we do. Does Norway need any democracy? No? Okay, thanks for trading minerals with us. Oh, I get it, yeah. And an American flag. Do you feel ripped off with the exchange rate from the NOK, the Norwegian kroner at the moment? Yes, I do feel ripped off. Verily.
You have it worse than us. I mean,
Yeah,
the
it's
Swedish
awful.
crown is just slightly higher.
Yeah, it's absolutely
But
awful.
it's up what is it now, like 1420 something?
Well, the Deutsche Mark is at least completely fine.
Yeah, the Deutsche Mark, the Europäische.
Yeah. Karl Habermas again says, nothing wrong with Carlins. A man's drink that. No fucking about. Just bear in it. No poofs like it.
Well, I will get me another one, then.
Put some chlorine tabs in that bong wasser. Jesus Christ. The chat is pretty good this evening. I'll give you that, guys. You're on fire. Based wood poster. Mystery speaker is the Mossad. Oh, you mean like the guy who calls himself Mossad? Because that's a guy too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been on one of AA's streams, and
Yeah.
he's an unabashed. He also loves the nation of Israel.
Well, I mean,
Hey, kicked him out of the stream, you know,
he's probably the only one here who's allowed to love the nation of Israel. So, love kebabs. All right. Well, do we have anything else we want to say? I'm running out of battery, so we have to end this very soon.
I mean, at least the trains were on time. So, yeah.
Well, not today though. Yeah.
not those trains. Keep up.
Sorry. I'm just trying to run cover here, so we don't get demonetized too quickly.
No,
Jesus
we're
Christ.
talking about the Swedish trains. They're
The
also
Swedish
always
trains.
on time.
They're always
We,
on time.
like the Germans, we also have a
Norwegian
government-run train company.
Yeah, we have the wonderful public-private partnership that the UK has.
Oh joy!
Yeah, nothing works and it's all expensive. Great. So
I have a funny train story. Actual funny.
the German has a funny train story. Everyone.
Oh, this better be good.
So back in '44, my family, one side of family, was evacuated from Königsberg, and they went during the summer still, and it was planned, like not a hasty retreat, let's say, and they packed everything into boxes and put it into the freight trains, and then they knew where they were going, and they put everything in there, and yeah, everything was geregelt, how we Germans say it. And then a few days after, they arrived at the destination where they were fleeing, and through all of that, in 1944, the Russians already at the old border, and the Americans harassing trains day in, day night from the air. Everything, to the latest, smallest nut and cranny, arrived at the time it was supposed to, at the place where it was supposed to, undamaged. So, and nowadays, we got a public-private partnership. Definite progress there.
Very good.
There are
Wonderful.
public-private partnerships and there are private-public partnerships.
Interesting take. Frozen for £2, which is worth a lot to me these days. Says, welcome to England, mate. Thank you so much.
£2. That's
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 $2,000.
half.
Like 2,000 Norwegian kroner.
That's half a Carlin.
It's half a Carlin. Wonderful. All right, I'm running out of battery, so this stream is ending. If not now, it's ending in 2 minutes. So I think I'm just gonna round this off here and thank everyone for listening and everyone for turning up. Of those who are here at the Witten. Would you like to say goodbye before we leave, one by one?
Auf Wiedersehen.
Burkal.
Hyvä
Consequent.
Choose.
And Consumer.
Goodbye. Hope to see you at the event.
All right. And we will see you, at least in terms of the Longhouse, next week, Thursday evenings. Until then, have a good weekend and a good evening. Good night.